want to start with first is the roasted tomatoes. You guys have that recipe already. Go to my YouTube page. You'll get the roasted tomatoes. The roasted tomatoes is just the tomatoes. It's a tablespoon of garlic. It's a little olive oil. And it's my famous special seasoning here. And on my seasoning, I have kosher salt, garlic powder, onion powder. You're going to toss that, and you're going to wrap it in. Foil, and you're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 10 minutes. That's that. It's done. You can get that recipe again on YouTube. And here's your roasted tomatoes. After your roasted tomatoes, you have your broccolini. How many of you guys have ever had broccolini? So broccolini again is the beginning stages of broccoli, and it's very, very flavorful, and it's very tender. So on the broccolini, unlike broccoli, when you have the really big stalks, the broccolini is really small stalks, and everything is edible on the broccolini. So on the broccolini, of course, you're going to rinse it just a little. And after you rinse it, you're going to dry it off because we're going to roast it. Right? It's going to be roasted in the oven. So you're going to dry off the broccolini. And then we're going to cut it into pieces. So, because we don't want to serve it long and whole like this. So we're going to basically take the broccolini and we're going to leave it stock together. We're going to cut it on the bias. And we're going to cut it on the bias again. And there's your broccolini. We're going to take it. We're going to put it in a bowl. We're going to add a little olive oil. It's about a tablespoon of olive oil. And then some more of our secret seasoning. And you're going to toss it. And then you're going to put it on a sheet pan. Now, remember this. When you're tossing it and you're putting it on a sheet pan, the broccolini should not be all bunched together like this. Because if it's bunched together like this, you're going to see that all it's going to do is steam. And that's not what we want. We want roasted broccoli. So you want to make sure that your broccoli is spread out on the pan. You're going to set your oven to about 375 degrees. And you're going to put your broccolini in the oven at 375 degrees. And when you pull it out, it's going to look like this. Right? So you got your broccolini. It's absolutely delicious. Soraya was just eating on it all day today while we were cooking it. Well, it's sweet, it's savory, you can taste the garlic, it's amazing, and of course the broccoli is good in beta carotene. So, we got our broccoli working, our roasted tomatoes. So let's talk about our scallops. So with the scallops, before you start cooking your scallops, you're going to marinate your scallops. So scallops come like shrimp. 13, 15, 16, 20, 21, 25. They come in different sizes. Today we have the 13, 15. Restaurant Depot, you can go here. Scallops, this bag was about $45. And again, you get about 2 pounds. So I got 13, 15, so I got about 30 scallops, right? But they're wonderful for you, and they're very delicious. Scallops is really high in protein, and they're high in B12. Okay? So, when you have your scallops, you don't have to rinse them right away. You rinse your scallops, and then we're going to use, you already know, the honey lime vinaigrette salad dressing to marinate them in. So then what you're gonna do is, Soraya, I need to get you to get me a plastic bag, Ziploc bag. So we're gonna take the scallops, we're gonna pour them in the bowl, and look how nice size they are. They're a nice size, right? So we're gonna marinate the scallops in the container at the bottom, all the way at the bottom rack, the bottom shelf. There you go. And we're gonna pour a little honey lime vinaigrette on the scallops, and then we're going to add a little salt. Our mixture, which is our salt, our garlic powder, and our onion powder, just a little bit. Now again, this is a little healthy eating, but I want you guys to have some flavor and not a whole lot of sodium, but I want you guys to have some flavor. So we're going to watch out for our sodium content and our sodium count. So after you mix your scallops together, you're going to take them and you're going to put them in a Ziploc bag. And we're going to let them marinate. Now typically, I would let them marinate for a day, maybe 24 hours, right? So we'll put these in the refrigerator, let them marinate. Here's your scallops, right? So now what happens? One thing about scallops is the scallops have to be dry when you get ready to cook them. On this particular recipe, you can actually take the scallops and just brush a little flour on top of them so you can get the color. But we're not going to use the flour because, again, some of you guys are trying to be keto friendly, and I want to be keto friendly with you. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get rid of a lot of the carbohydrates. So we're not going to dust them in flour. So that's why we marinate them in Cuvee's honey lime vinaigrette. Go to Cuvee'sCulinaryCreations.com. Log on to the contact page. Fill out the contact page. And yes, question.
Are they salty already?
Are the scallops salty? No, they're not. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the scallops on top of the Ziploc, the paper towel. And we're going to dry them off a little bit. Now, for the recipe, you should probably only use about 4 to 6 scallops, right? Because again, this recipe is 360 calories. So when we're dealing with 360 calories, you can't eat the whole bag of scallops. Rob. Okay, so we got the scallops and they're going to dry. While the scallops are drying, we're going to sit a paper towel on top of them and let them dry a little bit. Now, while the scallops are drying, let's talk a little bit about healthy eating and about losing weight. Yes, question. Okay. So, guys, remember this. I don't know about you guys, but I'm 50-something, right? And I used to weigh, before COVID started, I was at 300 and about 318. And after walking, I got on the scale yesterday, and I'm exactly 302 pounds. So that's 16 pounds that I've lost during this whole COVID thing, right? Well, of course, the first month I sat down and I ate all the time. To make a long story short, when we were in college and we were in high school, we weren't this big. It didn't take us a day to put on this kind of weight. It took us years to put on this kind of weight. So, it's going to take us time to get the weight off of us. So don't get frustrated. Don't get down in the dumps. Just remember, walking is going to make a big difference. And remember, a habit is 21 days makes a habit. And believe it or not, It's very rare that I don't get up and I don't walk. I try to get in 6 good miles now, right? At a good steady pace. If I'm not feeling 6 miles, okay, so I'm gonna do 3 miles. So take your time and remember that you didn't put all this weight on in a day, so it's not gonna all come off in a day, right? So a lot of people do cheat days. Now, my cheat days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're going to put a little olive oil in the skillet, and we want this to get extremely hot. So everybody deserves a break. Do what's good for your body. Do what's good for you, because it's about longevity of life. You're doing a little walking, you keep your heart right. You're doing a little walking, you're feeling good about yourself. Energy is good, you're keeping your blood sugar down, and that's good. So it takes a little time. Yes?
Your son is watching. Marco's watching.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Q. So my oldest son is watching, and he is a health fanatic. He works out. And if you guys are Facebook friends with him, you can see him on Facebook, and he's probably doing 100 sit-ups, 75 chin-ups, and he's doing repetitions of them. So he's really conscious about what he eats. I remember one day we were in California, and he said, "Pop, I'm getting too big, man. I reached over and tied my shoe, and I was out of breath." And I didn't have a heart to say to him, "Dude, I do that all the time. I thought that was normal." But I don't do that anymore. I can tie my shoe and I'm not out of breath because I'm exercising. So, what happens if you can't exercise? What happens if you are on your feet 16 hours a day like I am sometimes and you don't feel like walking? Right? Guess what? Swim. Swimming is one of the best exercises that you can possibly do because it works the entire body. Your arms, your legs, it works everything, right? Tennis. Rob plays a little tennis. He used to have a trophy, but I think he lost it to Damon. Damon, if you're watching, I'm sure you got the trophy still, right? So
and you forgot sex.
Sex is good for exercise too,
yeah,
right?
It is.
It's good cardio.
Yes, it is.
Right?
That's in the top 5.
Top 5.
Hey, 3 in the top 5.
I'm good with that. I'm real good with that. Any questions thus far? So our skillet is extremely hot.
Yeah, because they're asking, can they eat already? They're hungry.
Who's hungry? Well, y'all can't eat. Just watch. Be patient. Because y'all worked out all day, now you're hungry. You got to eat before 7 o'clock, right? So, we're going to take our scallops. Our scallops are dry. We turned our fire on, and we're going to put our scallops in one at a time. Now, one of the things about the honey lime vinaigrette, it's going to give the scallops some color. And I did not do any scallops beforehand because the scallops don't take very long to cook. Hit that fan for me, Mary. But they are very high in fat, right? But it's a good fat. It's not a bad fat. So while the scallops are searing on each side, the broccolini is in the oven. I'm going to take my scallops and I'm going to turn them just over a little bit. Now, one of the things about the honey lime vinaigrette is going to give the scallops some color because it has the honey, it has the lime, right? Now, after your scallops are cooking, you can shake them up a little bit to get a little bit more color, but the scallops do not take very long to cook. You do not want to overcook your scallops because you want them to be like butter. You can take that broccolini out. You want your scallops to be like butter. Scallops cook for about 3 to 5 minutes, and we're done. Now that's the honey lime vinaigrette. We're going to sit it over to the side, let the scallops cool off, and we're done. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our mandarin oranges, or our oranges. Now with our oranges, You can use the mandarin orange, and you can peel it and cheat and do it the easy way, or you can do the presentation way, and I'm going to show you guys how to get orange segments with the oranges. So you can use the mandarin oranges. Look around, one broccolini. You can use the the mandarin oranges, and use the oranges and make the segments. Or I'm going to show you guys how to actually get the segments from the orange so that you guys can learn. And all you're simply going to do is you're going to cut one side of the orange, the top portion of the orange. You're going to cut the bottom portion of the orange. And then you're going to peel the orange right along with the skin. Now, I've sliced my fingers so many times that I don't do a whole lot of talking when I'm using my knives, because my knives are pretty sharp. Just a learning moment, right? So, we have peeled our orange, and hopefully you guys will be able to see that. Right?
Yep.
Then you're going to take your paring knife, and you're going to get the rest of the white off the orange. And then all of the oranges is in segment. So, trivia question. How many of you guys know that every citrus fruit has an even number of slices? Did you know that?
No.
Count them.
I didn't know that.
Well, I'm sure you didn't, man. You looking it up right now on Facebook?
No.
Okay, so
I just eat them.
see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
How about that? So now you see the ridges in the oranges, so you're going to slice one side, you're going to slice the other side, and boom. And then you have your orange segments. And they're going to pop right out. So one of the clients, I think Kim was her name, she was watching our show about the strawberries, and she soaked her strawberries, and she actually posted it online to see how the bugs were coming out of her strawberries, because she soaked them in lukewarm water and salt, and she saw the bugs climbing out of the strawberries, and she posted it online. So Kim, thank you for watching. I'm glad that you learned something. It makes me feel good. So we're going to use a few orange segments, and I think that's enough. Right? So we got our orange segments, and we have our scallops. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our salad. Right? And we're going to take our salad, and we're going to put it in a bowl. So we're using a spring mix. Spring mix is good. You can use whatever mix you want, right? We're going to use, of course, Cuvee's Culinary Honey Lime Vinaigrette. Get it next door to you. Go to Cuvee'sCulinaryCreations.com, fill out the contact page, and get your honey lime vinaigrette delivered to you tomorrow. So we're going to toss it just a little bit in a little honey lime vinaigrette. So one of my first jobs was working in the salad station at a restaurant. And a lot of people think the salad station is easy. Not. Salad station is very difficult. So we're going to take our salad and we're going to pile it in the middle of the plate. And we're going to pile it high. Now, the salad mixture is only 6 to 8 ounces of salad. So remember that. Remember, this dish is 360 calories. Now, we're going to take our orange slices and we're going to put our orange slices around our salad. And then we're going to take our scallops and we're going to put our scallops right in between the orange slices. Now, one of the things that I've learned about watching what you eat is that you can eat all the onions you want. The onions don't have anything in it. So then we're gonna top it with just a few red onions. And then we're going to sprinkle some almonds around it. Just a few almonds. And we're going to take a little of the honey lime vinaigrette and we're going to hit in between some of the things on the plate. And we're going to drizzle just a little bit more of the honey lime vinaigrette around it. Make sure we clean our plate. So, what is the key to cleaning the plate? Vinegar and water. Yes. Say, I can't read it. I don't.
Okay, Miss Thelma said hi.
Hey, Thelma! Happy belated birthday!
You my mama?
Yeah, your mama.
She said hi, Fatty.
Hey, mommy.
You already know, Thelma, he here ready to eat, right? Okay. Let's get our plate cleaned.
And Katrina and Latrell said hi.
Hey,
And
Katrina.
for that Walmart.
So, there we have our scallop salad. Something different, something flavorful, something delicious. And again, remember, healthy eating is expensive. Okay? So, now, we're going to do a twofer really quick, right? So, we're going to grab another skillet. And we're going to make you, and you guys are going to get the farm stand bowl. So, the farm stand bowl is loaded with nothing but protein. Nothing but protein. You're going to use a little olive oil. You're going to get the skillet nice and hot. Do we have any questions thus far? No questions thus far, okay. So, I'm sure my dad is probably not going to eat scallops because he doesn't like fat meat, right? So on his steaks, he likes his steaks real lean, right? But scallops are delicious, Dad, and you have to try them. That's like you tried the lamb chops. So we have the baby kale. We're going to put about 8 ounces of baby kale. We're going to add the roasted tomatoes. And you can hear it sizzling right now, right? Right? And you're going to let that wilt. And again, you're not going to cook all the green out of it. It's still going to be crispy. And then you're going to add just a tad bit of your broccolini. Now, this dish is about, I think it's about 470 calories. And then after your broccolini, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of pesto. And of course, I love pesto. And remember, only 400 and something calories. And then you're going to hit it with 1 ounce of lemon vinaigrette. And if you guys followed me on Facebook, you guys will see the recipe for the lemon vinaigrette. Now, the joy about the farm stand bowl is that it can be a breakfast item, it can be an item for lunch, it can be an item for dinner. Doesn't matter. The farm stand bowl is a substitute for you for potato chips. It's a substitute for you for cookies. It's a substitute for, I don't know, whatever your fatty food is or your snack food is, right? Now, if you have this for breakfast, a great item to put right on top of this is an egg over easy or egg sunny side up. That will give you the protein that you need with the farm stand bowl. So there you have it. So you have 2 good meals, and both of these meals are under 1,000 calories. What you guys got to say about that? Yes, ma'am.
Leslie Woods wanted to know if that was a Cutco knife. Leslie?
Leslie, no. This knife was not a Cutco knife. This knife is Gordon Ramsay's knife. This knife was given to me. It was a whole set of knives that was given to me by one of my producers, Robert Boyd, for my 50th birthday present. You remember that? You don't remember that, really? Oh my God! Dude, yes! For my 50th birthday at the house in Pittsburgh. So that's just a Gordon Ramsay knife. Yes.
And Leslie was also asking about almonds and cutting belly fat.
Okay, so almonds is great and is keto friendly. Remember that almonds is very keto friendly because it has a little fat into it, but it has no cholesterol.
Yeah, she said that it's good at burning belly
it's
fat.
It's good at burning belly fat. How about that, right? I know a young lady that told us that almonds were also good for building your libido for having sex too.
Is it really?
Oh my God, Soraya, really? So almonds play a great role in a lot of things. So we have the farm stand bowl, which you can have in the morning for breakfast. Put an egg over easy on top of it if you like. You can have the farm stand bowl as a snack. Or you have the scallop salad for dinner, loaded with protein, great with B12. Question.
Can Kim Talks come and eat?
Oh, Kim! Kim was the one that was. Kim, you were the one that did the strawberries. Thank you for watching, Kim. I appreciate you. Robert Boyd is gonna eat this girl. By the time you get here, it's gone. Yes.
And she said, "Is the recipe on your page?"
Yes, the recipe is definitely on the page. You can go to YouTube in about an hour, and it'll be posted on YouTube, and you can get the recipe because all of our shows are archived on our YouTube page, Cuvee's Culinary Creations. Any other questions? So guys, remember, go to Cuvee'sCulinaryCreations.com, log on to the contact page, fill out the contact page, name, address, phone number, an event, put how many salad dressings you want, and we'll get those shipped out to you tomorrow. We have been doing extremely well. We thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. Things are going extremely well. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Soraya. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you guys. Remember these salads. They're great. They're healthy. They're good. How many miles can you walk tomorrow? I'm going to do my 6. Have a great night, guys.